They were the untouchables. From dominating English football to conquering Europe, Manchester United stood tall as one of the greatest football clubs in the world. But how does a team so mighty fall so far? Buckle up, because this story is full of victory, heartbreak, and the kind of drama that football fans will never forget. From Ferguson's Dynasty to today's tactical misfires, let's explore how the Red Devils went from kings of the pitch to chasing shadows. It all began in 1986 when a no-nonsense Scotsman named Sir Alex Ferguson took over Manchester United. His mission: restore a club that had tasted glory but was starving for success. But let's be real, it wasn't instant magic. The first few years under Ferguson, they were shaky and fans were calling for his head. In fact, in 1990, he was reportedly one match away from getting the boot. Then, the turning point, the FA Cup win of 1990. This victory saved Ferguson's job and set the stage for what would become the most dominant era in English football history.
It was a special moment for a football fan, for a United fan.
By 1993, Ferguson had built a team that was not just good, but unstoppable. Manchester United won their first ever Premier League title, ending a 26-year wait for the league crown. And that was just the beginning. Ferguson, he didn't just buy success, he cultivated it. The class of 92, featuring legends like Ryan Giggs, David Beckham, and Paul Scholes, were the heart of United's dominance. Ferguson's eye for talent, both homegrown and purchased, made United a well-oiled machine. United, they didn't just dominate, they humiliated the competition. Between 1993 and 2013, the Red Devils lifted 13 Premier League titles, 5 FA Cups, 2 Champions League trophies, and countless other accolades. No team,
I think we realised at the time we had a good team,
could come close. And then there was the treble. In 1999, Manchester United did the unthinkable. They won the Premier League, FA Cup, and Champions League all in one season. Ferguson's squad, with warriors like Roy Keane and maestros like Beckham, were unstoppable. They weren't just playing football, they were writing history. And just like that, the unthinkable happened. It was May 2013, and Sir Alex Ferguson, the man who could make players run through walls, the man who could turn a 90th minute loss into a 93rd minute win, he stepped down after 27 years at the helm. Manchester United, they were on top, having just won their 13th Premier League title under Ferguson. The fans, they were absolutely buzzing. They thought this was just a temporary pause in their winning streak, whereas it was more like pulling the plug. Enter David Moyes, the chosen one, personally selected by Sir Alex Ferguson to carry on his legacy. Now, this was supposed to be like passing on the torch at an Olympic relay. Unfortunately, for United fans, it turned out to be more like handing a hairdryer to someone who'd never seen electricity. 7th place. 7th, the team that had just won the league, was suddenly flirting with mid-table mediocrity like it was their new summer fling. Moyes lasted just 10 months, making him the first manager in United's modern history to leave with nothing but a collection of awkward press conferences and a baffling love of crosses. Then came Louis van Gaal, the Dutch philosopher coach, whose press conferences were like a TED Talk, except nobody really knew what the topic was. His promise? Beautiful football. What we got? Well, it was football, alright. Beautiful? Let's just say Picasso had a more predictable style. Under Van Gaal, United's attack had all the speed of a YouTube buffering screen. They passed the ball sideways, and then sideways again, and then, if you were really lucky, backwards. Fans started wondering if United's strategy was just to lull their opponents to sleep. Enter the special one, Jose Mourinho, the man who never left a club quietly. Jose arrived in 2016 with bags of charisma and just as many grudges, and yeah, he did bring some silverware with him. The League Cup, the Europa League. Mourinho had people believing United might finally be back, but here's the catch. It wasn't the Fergie-era United. It was more like Fergie-era United on a strict low-carb, no-fun diet. And of course, there was Jose's favorite number 3. 3 fingers, 3 titles, 3 years before everything imploded. At United, Jose Mourinho took his usual path: win some, alienate some, and leave with his bags packed full of excuses. And let's not forget that spectacular exit. Mourinho, well, he didn't just burn bridges, he built a bonfire big enough for a United summer barbecue, roasted every player, and then he asked for respect while walking out the door. Underneath the revolving door of coaches was a club struggling to find its identity. United fans had gone from watching the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Ryan Giggs to wondering why Alexis Sanchez spent more time walking his dogs than playing football. Yes, Alexis Sanchez, the man who could kill a piano introduction, but he couldn't finish a 10-yard pass. United signed him as if he were the missing piece to a puzzle, but it turns out they picked up the wrong box entirely. The only place he hit the right notes was during his musical unveiling. One by one, United went through managers like someone speed dating through football philosophies: Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, each one leaving with either a bitter press conference or a head full of regret. And with every managerial change, well, there came another failed transfer, another failed rebuild, and more fans scratching their heads like, this isn't the United we grew up with. The post-Ferguson era's real problem? A lack of stability. Here's the thing, since Ferguson left, United, well, they never found their stability. With every new manager came new players, new tactics, new philosophies, no continuity, no consistency. How can you rebuild an empire when the blueprint changes every season?
Thank you to Manchester United. Thank you.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the fan favourite who smiled through the pain, was brought in as a long-term solution, and by long-term, we meant just long enough for the fans to start wondering if their nostalgia for 1999 was stronger than his tactical skills. Remember his famous United DNA speeches? Turns out DNA doesn't help you defend a set piece. And of course, then came Ralf Rangnick, the man brought in to steady the ship, but United's ship was less of a sturdy vessel and more like a dinghy with multiple leaks. Rangnick did bring some stability though, if by stability you mean consistently mediocre results. Behind all this chaos, there was a boardroom playing musical chairs with no rhythm. If Ferguson's United was a fine-tuned symphony, post-Fergie United was a kid bashing cymbals out of time and hoping for an applause. The lack of a long-term vision wasn't just a problem, it was the entire problem. Tactical downfalls. Enter Arne Slot's influence. In the theatre of dreams, a nightmare unfolded. Manchester United, the Red Devils, faced off against their arch-nemesis, Liverpool. But little did they know, they were about to face the tactical genius of Arne Slot, the Dutch mastermind who'd leave them slotting away in despair. Slot's Liverpool, fueled by his strategic brilliance, sought to exploit United's vulnerabilities. He analysed their every move like a footballing Sherlock Holmes. United shifted to a 4-4-2 formation, aiming to dominate possession.
This season they are more with a 9 and 10 press, so they're more in a 4-4-2.
But Slot, he was ready, armed with a counter-attacking plan that would leave United's defence in shambles. Slot unleashed his dynamic duo, Diaz and Salah. They tore through United's defence like a hot knife through butter, leaving them screaming, "Slot, you're a genius!" 3 devastating goals later, and United's hopes were dashed. The Red Devils were left feeling, well, a little red-faced. Manchester United outsmarted and outmanoeuvred. Arne Slot's tactical genius proved decisive. I guess it's back to the drawing board for United, or maybe they just need to slot in some new strategies. The Red Devils fell to the Reds 3-0, a resounding victory for Liverpool. Courtesy of Arne Slot's strategic brilliance, who knew football could be so Dutch-astic? What's next for Manchester United? So, where does Manchester United go from here? The fans have endured a decade of managerial roulette, tactical experiments gone wrong, and signings that looked good on paper but somehow turned into memes. Yet, hope springs eternal. Now, with Erik ten Hag at the helm, United fans are hoping for a rebuild. There's always the next generation to pin your hopes on. United have talented youngsters coming through, players who could lead the charge, if they can survive the inevitable carousel of managers. And let's not forget, this club, well, it still has enough financial clout to buy players like they're assembling a fantasy football team. If they can find the right balance, who knows, maybe the glory days aren't completely out of reach.
This season, for the contribution, for the backing us, for the support, and so thank you.
But then again, every time fans say, "This is our year," the football gods remind us that they haven't updated their prayers since 2013. So, what's next for Manchester United? Well, if history has taught us anything, expect the unexpected. Whether it's another tactical revolution, a big money signing, or, dare we say, a return to the top under a manager who actually stays longer than a Netflix series. United's journey is far from over. It's just taking the scenic route. For now, we're all just along for the ride, holding onto our seats, hoping for more celebrations than facepalms, because at Manchester United, even when things go wrong, they do it in style. Whether you're a die-hard Red Devil or just love a good underdog story, there's one thing for sure: Manchester United isn't done yet. Their story isn't over. Will they rise to reclaim their throne, or will we be left talking about their next tactical blunder? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more football stories. This saga